Good?
Good.
All right. Welcome to episode 4 of these KxK Conversations. I'm here with my brother Derreck, one of the
Hello.
most talented people I know. And we're just going to chat real quick. So, you just came back from Japan. How was it?
It was a spiritual blessing. Well, the trip of Japan was a gift from my girlfriend Katrine for my birthday, and I was blessed enough to experience Japan because I know that Japan is on a lot of people's dream vacations.
Yeah, absolutely. So, in that whole experience, let's talk about the importance of new experiences in general and perspective. Do you think you got a lot of new perspective in terms of maybe art or life and influence during your time there?
Oh yeah, 1 billion%. Out in Japan, they are doing things incredibly different in terms of fashion, in terms of tech, because they are light years away from what we're currently doing here in the US.
Yeah.
They're definitely more experimental, and I feel like a lot of fashion trends can emerge from the fashion culture in Japan. It's a very, very vast plethora of just things there that has inspired me to definitely be more creative in terms of fashion, in terms of photography, in terms of videography, in terms of, you know, creating art, not just content for social media, but just like art in general. I will be pushing my own boundaries because of it.
Yeah. When I went to Japan, I was really entranced by the minimalism, right? So you go into a restaurant and they only have a couple of things on their menu, like they're known for that thing, right? And
Yeah, it's never busy. Their menus are never busy. They're always just,
this is what you get.
yeah, this
And
is
I
what you
think
get, this is what you're paying for. If not, you could
yeah, I
leave.
think minimalism is so important because it's like in terms of mentality, how much can you take away from something without like taking away from its essence? How much can you strip it down? Because I think especially in music for me, adding so many layers and stuff, like sometimes I catch myself doing too much, right? So
And
taking
I
out layers.
and so how do you take it back though?
What do you mean?
How do you take back your layers?
No, like literally removing instruments from the tracks.
Oh, got it,
That's what I'm
got it,
saying.
got
Like
it.
how many things, like how much does it actually need?
Mm.
Yeah. Even when I'm editing a picture, it's like sometimes I catch myself maybe editing too far, putting too many things, and it's like, okay, I kind of lost its essence along the way. So how much can I add without it being like a diminishing return? Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah. So that's like my main thing that I took away from Japanese culture that
Mm.
I brought back with me. So do you have like one specific example of maybe something you kind of learned in Japan that you want to apply into your art or your life?
I own a lot of clothes, right?
Yeah.
So when you talk about minimalism, whenever I travel, I'm thinking, okay, these are the only clothes that I wear.
Mm.
And so being in Japan, there was a good few sets of clothes that I just recycled
Yeah.
through, and it felt good. I was still able to have my personal style that is still like eclectic,
Mm.
but toned, but also fun, while still not doing too much. And I came back and I was like, damn, I do fall into the nasty habit of over consuming or
Yeah.
falling into trends and wanting
Yeah.
to buy something specific.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being in Japan has definitely taught me that I don't need to do that to still achieve my overall style. And that's just obviously when it comes to fashion things. When it comes to my photography, I realized that my style out there is a little bit more warm and calmer than the things that I shoot here in the States and the clients that I shoot for or the things that I shoot for fun out here in the States. And obviously Japan was a lot of like landscape photography and portraitures and things like that. But I think I kind of focused on the general surroundings being my overall subject.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in terms of if you look at this building up top, I love the blues and the grays that play off the building, how they still reflect each other. And then you could kind of pinpoint on this building. There's some greens in there, and there's some purples all the way to the top. And I realized that I was looking for things like that when I was shooting in Japan, kind of the finer details of things
Yeah.
versus like, oh, look, it's Kyoto or
Yeah.
Osaka.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
we're in like the Times Square of there.
Yeah. And I think it's because in Japan, you can sense the intentionality behind everything, especially in the architecture and
Oh yeah,
and everything. So you look at a building, you're like, wow, like people really tried and made this beautiful thing.
yeah,
That's both functional and beautiful. So it definitely changes your eye in a different way.
1000%.
So going into your personal style, both in photography and in fashion, how do you think that's developed over time?
Well, definitely in fashion, I realized I've grown out completely from the whole Jordan wave and like being very sneaker heavy.
Mm.
I've found a love for mules and more so comfortability and utility versus, oh, this is the hottest Supreme drop. And I think that that just comes with the age. And I think I am able to present myself more confidently when I wear things like loafers or my boots or, you know, a well-fitting pant or a well-fitting jacket on me versus my babe sweats. And I don't know, some babes is like,
Yeah, it's mature.
yeah, it's a very mature look. And I
Yeah.
think obviously that comes with the age. In terms of photography, I think a photographer's style is always changing. It's always evolving.
Agree.
It's in a sense going to surround itself around the same things the photographer does like, but I feel like to be a full-fledged creative, you also have to be open to changing things up even when you don't think you should.
Yeah.
And I think that can be related to fashion, to where it's like, okay, I want to be able to change this up, not because I have to, but just because I can and I'm able to.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like saying like, oh, I shoot pictures of cars and landscapes, but that doesn't mean I can't shoot a corporate event where it deals with different types of other lighting, and you have to be more knowledgeable on things like that.
Yeah. I think that's where people get stuck to. It's like if they're known for a specific thing, like it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to keep doing that. People might not understand it initially, especially if you're known for a certain thing, whether that be a certain style of music or photography, but at the end of the day, people are going to rock with you for you, and that's the easiest thing to do instead of like trying to appeal to a certain audience or
Yeah.
whatever, or trying to appeal to a certain like trend. If you were to describe how you approach building community or attracting an audience in a couple of sentences, how would you describe that?
I feel like you are your community. Essentially, the people that you do want to show up to your event, the people that you do want to shop your brand, the people that you do want to be a part of your community, you have to be that person. So, in regards to sound bites, it's like I want people who want to hear good music and multiple genres. And I wanted it to be a mixture of just good music, good food, and good wine. And,
Yeah.
well made drinks, obviously the food. And every food vendor that I brought on is also local, small business owned. From all angles, it's community based. Even if it's like 10 people, I feel like bringing those 10 people together creates a sense of community. And just that in itself is already beautiful to me. And I feel like that just goes along with every other thing that I like to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, for fashion, I want to just share my like style journey.
Yeah.
I feel like I put on good fits, and why not?
You do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why not share it with the world? Because there's no harm in sharing your creativity
Yeah.
with the world.
Yeah. I definitely think majority of what you do, it's curated experiences built on authentic connection. Right?
I like that. Yeah.
And we're talking about visual storytelling in your videos, whether it be like different fits you're putting together, like you know how you want to show off the pieces and you actually have a connection to the pieces, like you have reasons why you like them.
Yeah.
And in terms of experiences, live experiences, whether that be cuffing season or sound bites, it's a very curated experience, even on like the sponsor side and all the vendors. Like all the vendors and you genuinely like all the food, and you can definitely tell that because there's a certain warmth to it. And when you're there, you can feel that it's not just a money play. Like everyone knows each other, and like the food does go well with all of the other food and with the music. You know, you can tell that it's an entire thing and it's very
genuine.
cohesive. It's cohesive and it's
Yeah.
authentic and it's genuine. Yeah, it's definitely felt. And whoever goes always says the same thing, always has such an amazing time. And I think there's definitely a very unique element to it.
I think there is too, and it definitely does warm my heart from a certain standpoint that I can bring those people together.
Yeah.
Whether it's someone that wants to support a DJ or whether it's someone that wants to support their friends' Asian baked goods, or it's someone that wants to support this coffee company that I'm bringing on, you know? I'm bringing their communities together along with XYZ DJ's community,
Mm-hmm.
and I think just that is already beautiful. And
Yeah.
it's just all components that people like you and me already enjoy.
Yeah.
Like-
And it's all complimentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything and everyone works hand in hand, and just off that alone is, like I said, like a completely beautiful experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
Um,
for joining me. I appreciate it.
No, of course, man. Well, baby.